Welcome everyone, welcome one and all. Greetings, Mike here with Sci-Fi and More, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to our Team Sci-Fi family, where nostalgic positivity reigns supreme. I wanted to do another 1950s series for a while now here on the channel, and I got a great suggestion from longtime subscriber at Franklin Townsend 7228, who I wanted to send a huge thank you to for his contribution. Mr. Townsend had sent me 6 movie suggestions to cover. Now, in the 1950s, there are titles like Forbidden Planet, The Day the Earth Stood Still, This Island Earth, and War of the Worlds that immediately come top of mind when we discuss 1950 sci-fi. But there are others that may have just flown under the radar and we may or may not have heard of. That doesn't mean they were good or bad. Just means that we may have missed them. And keep in mind, the 1950s was a record-setting decade for sci-fi movie releases. I mean, during that decade, there were 205 sci-fi movies in total that were released. So it is possible that some could have flown right by us. So, I will cover 2 of these movies in this video, 2 in part 2, and 2 in part 3. But, before we begin, let's hear from the sponsor of our video today, ourselves. Greetings everyone, Mike here with Sci-Fi and More, and we have been putting together fun and nostalgic videos for a while now. But many of you may not realize that we have 2 channels. Our original channel, Sci-Fi and More, revisits classic sci-fi films and TV shows, while Sci-Fi and More-Express focuses on current and upcoming sci-fi. Both channels feature Subscriber Street, where we want to hear from you, inviting you to let us know what you'd like to see, and we will do our best to put it together for you, along with our Sci-Fi and More merchandise store, where we design merchandise with you in mind. So stop on by and stay for a while. Thank you all for your continued support. You are all the best sci-fi team on YouTube. Have a great galactic day. And now that our little intermission is over, let's head to the drive-in, hook that static-filled speaker to our car window, and let's explore some lesser-known 1950 sci-fi. For our first entry, we are going to look at Caltiki, the Immortal Monster. Caltiki, the Immortal Monster is a 1959 Italian-American sci-fi film released in Italy as a black-and-white science fiction horror film reminiscent of The Blob from the previous year. It was first released in Italy as Caltiki il mostro immortale. The plot follows a group of archaeologists exploring Mayan ruins who encounter a shapeless, deadly creature. As the story unfolds, a comet that passed by during the fall of the Mayan civilization is set to return, suggesting a possible link between the creature and the comet. Following the success of their film Hercules in 1958, Galletti Film expanded into different genres to appeal to an international market, resulting in the production of Caltiki, the Immortal Monster. Riccardo Freda was initially hired to direct, but he left during filming to allow his friend Mario Bava, the film's cinematographer and special effects artist, a chance to direct and potentially earn more money. Later interviews revealed conflicting opinions from Freda and Bava regarding who was the true director. However, historical accounts and documents indicate that Bava was responsible for much of the crucial footage, including death scenes, the monster sequences, and special effects. Caltiki, the Immortal Monster, follows a group of archaeologists exploring ancient Mayan ruins in Mexico. During their expedition, they uncover the remnants of an unknown civilization and stumble upon a strange amorphous substance in a hidden cave. This mysterious blob-like creature known as Caltiki is initially dormant, but is discovered to react violently when exposed to radiation. As the archaeologists delve deeper into the mystery, they accidentally awaken Caltiki, unleashing a terrifying and seemingly indestructible force. The creature feeds on living flesh and starts to grow uncontrollably, leading to chaos and destruction, because naturally it does. Dr. John Fielding, one of the archaeologists, realizes the potential connection between Caltiki and the cosmic phenomena, as its movement and activity appear linked to a passing comet. The team must find a way to stop Caltiki before it becomes unstoppable. As it gains strength from radiation, the monster becomes more dangerous, pushing Fielding and the others to seek any method possible to neutralize it, utilizing their scientific knowledge and resourcefulness. The film is a blend of horror and science fiction, typical of the late 1950s, and showcases themes of scientific exploration and the unintended consequences of awakening ancient forces. Caltiki, the immortal monster, is notable within the 1950s science fiction genre for several reasons. Like other films of the era, Caltiki blends elements of both horror and science fiction. However, it stands out by combining archaeological intrigue with the fear of the unknown, exploring ancient civilizations and cosmic phenomena simultaneously. The monster in the film, Caltiki, is a blob-like amorphous creature. This type of antagonist was relatively innovative at the time, with the blob being the only exception that I mentioned before. It differs from the more common humanoid or giant creatures popular in 1950s sci-fi films. Its featureless appearance plays on primal fears, emphasizing the notion of the incomprehensible and the uncontrollable. The film ties the presence of activities of the creature to cosmic radiation and a passing comet, merging the terrestrial horror with extraterrestrial themes. This connection to cosmic events reflected contemporary anxieties about space exploration and the unknowns of the universe. As a joint Italian-American production, Caltiki mixes European influences with American-style monster film sensibilities, resulting in a unique style compared to purely American sci-fi films of the time. The effects used to bring Caltiki to life, although simple by today's standards, were quite effective at the time. The creature itself was brought to life using practical effects that involved the use of a formless, blob-like substance. With materials like tripe, which is the lining of a cow's stomach, and gelatin to simulate the appearance of a slimy, shapeless mess. This organic material provided a convincing texture and fluidity on camera. To portray the creature enveloping and attacking its surroundings, the filmmakers utilized miniature sets and scale models, which allowed this blob to appear massive and overwhelming in comparison to the settings, enhancing the creature's threat. The use of camera angles and close-ups also played a significant role in creating the illusion of size and movement for Caltiki. By carefully framing the shots, filmmakers were able to suggest that the creature was spreading and engulfing everything in its path. And with some clever editing techniques, helped enhance the blob's movements and interactions with actors. Quick cuts between different scenes and the careful interspersing of the creature's shots with live action footage helped create a more dynamic and frightening presentation. Overall, the effects in Caltiki, the Immortal Monster, relied heavily on practical methods and creative cinematography to achieve the desired impact, showcasing what could be done with limited technology of the time. These techniques helped the film maintain a sense of tension and horror despite the simplicity of the simple effects employed. Through these effects, Caltiki, the Immortal Monster, contributes to the genre by presenting a unique amalgamation of ideas and techniques reflective of its time, offering both thrills and a glimpse into mid-century scientific concerns and adventurous narratives. Now let's get into some sci-fi from Japan with The H-Man. The H-Man is a 1958 tokusatsu science fiction film that originated from actor Hideo Unagami's story The H-Man Appears, about a liquid human created by hydrogen bomb radiation. After Unagami's death in November of 1957, producer Tomoyuki Tanaka decided to adapt the story into a film. Takashi Kimura was hired to write the screenplay, and Ishiro Honda, famous for his work from Godzilla and the Mysterians, directed the film. This film is interesting because it combines science fiction with crime thriller elements set against the backdrop of post-war Japan. The H-Man was the first film in Toho's Transforming Human series, a trilogy that mixed science fiction and film noir elements. The unconnected film featured stories involving violent criminals, law enforcement, and humanoids created by scientific experiments. The subsequent entries, The Secret of the Telegion and The Human Vapor, were both released in 1960. The Secret of the Telegion was directed by Jun Fukuda, while Ishiro Honda directed The Human Vapor. The Transforming Human series, also officially known as the Mutant Trilogy, were produced by Toho between 1958 and 1960. Each film explores similar themes and premises that feature stories about humanoid monsters created through scientific experiments, while not sharing a continuous storyline. And at their planning stages, The Secret of the Telegion and The Human Vapor were not actually supposed to be part of the Mutant Trilogy, but were instead designated as entries in a mystery science fiction film series. The story of the H-Man begins with a mysterious incident on a rainy night in Tokyo. A criminal involved in drug smuggling suddenly disappears, leaving behind only his clothes. The police, initially suspecting foul play, linked to gang activities, launch an investigation led by Inspector Tominaga. The plot thickens when Dr. Masada, a scientist from a prominent university, proposes a startling theory. He suggests that the disappearances might be related to a radioactive incident involving a hydrogen bomb test in the Pacific, which transformed some people into melted liquid-like entities known as H-Men. These dangerous beings can emerge in their fluid state and dissolve humans upon contact, absorbing their bodily matter. As the investigation unfolds, the police delve into Tokyo's seedy underworld, encountering noir elements and complex characters including cabaret singer Chicago, who unwittingly becomes involved due to her association with a missing gangster. The film explores themes of nuclear fallout and its unpredictable consequences on humanity. It cleverly weaves together the suspense of a crime thriller with the foreboding tension of a science fiction narrative, resulting in a gripping and atmospheric experience, all achieved through Toho's signature special effects. The special effects team for the H-Men, led by acclaimed E.G. Tsuburaya, utilized creative techniques to bring the liquid-like creature to life. Given the film's premise involving entities transformed by radioactivity, the team needed to depict the eerie and fluid transformation of humans into H-Men. To achieve the desired effects, they employed a combination of practical effects and cinematographic shenanigans. For scenes where human figures appear to melt or transform into liquid, the team used stop-motion animation. This technique involves photographing static models or figures in incrementally altered positions to create the illusion of motion when played back at normal speed. Tsuburaya and his team also utilized miniatures and scale models for scenes involving the city and specific set pieces. This allowed for controlled environments where unique effects could be applied safely and effectively. To simulate the H-Man's fluid appearance and movement, optical effects achieved through a combination of compositing and layering film exposures were crucial. This helped in blending the liquid forms with the live action footage of human actors. In some scenes, various types of gooey substances and liquids were used, representing the H-Men in their amorphous state. These liquids were critical because they could be manipulated on set to interact with actors and props, adding an element of realism to the encounters. Lighting played a crucial role in setting the eerie and atmospheric tone of the film, as carefully controlled lighting and cinematography techniques were designated to enhance the menacing presence of these creatures. Together, these methods allowed Tsuburaya and his team to create a memorable depiction of the H-Man, blending traditional special effects techniques with innovative new methods of the time, producing a distinctive and unsettling visual style that complements the film's theme. The H-Man was released in the United States by Columbia Pictures in 1959, with approximately 8 minutes cut from the original to enhance the pacing and remove some of the more unconvincing special effects. The American version also omitted any reference to the H-Man retaining human memories. In 1987, Columbia renewed its license and continues to hold the American distribution rights. And in 2009, Sony released a DVD featuring the original Japanese cut along with the American edit of the H-Man in a triple feature alongside Mothra and the Battle in Outer Space. Love Battle in Outer Space. That's a good one to check out. So, stay tuned. We have a Battle in Outer Space video coming your way soon. And there you have it, Cosmic Core. We hope you have enjoyed our video on some potentially forgotten or overlooked sci-fi gems from the 1950s. And if you did, please be sure to drop a like and share the video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's continue our sci-fi journey together as a team. Were these movies good? Were they bad? Or did they just fly under the radar? Check them out and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And again, I would like to send a big thank you to our subscriber at Franklin Townsend 7228 for this fantastic suggestion. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and thank you all for your continued support. And thank you for being the best team on YouTube. Until next time, Cosmic Core, have a great galactic day.